Yo, what's up, everyone? So, I'm going to be talking about Houndoom and Mega Houndoom. These guys are super, super sick with all of these changes. Um, the vast majority of the line does have access to new abilities, like new abilities meaning custom. Of course, most Pokemon have a new ability, at least one, um, for the most part, changed. But yeah, they have custom new abilities for the most part, and I really like the way they turned out. Houndoom is just overall a lot more strong, a lot more powerful, and overall just kind of less bulky. Not that he was too bulky or anything. I just didn't really think that like 80 Spadef fit that well, so I dropped Spadef a little bit, upped his defense a little bit, dropped the HP a little bit because he's not very big, and then I just made him super offensive, as it should be. Yes, I wanted to put Intimidate, but Incineroar exists, and Incineroar is the starter, and so I feel like Incineroar should take priority to have Intimidate over Houndoom. Um, so I couldn't give Houndoom Intimidate because of Incineroar. But yeah, those are the only two Dark Fires in the hack, though, which is pretty sick. And Houndoom has a lot of cooler abilities, anyways, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's so cool. So, Houndoom does have access to the new ability in Sinister and Ruthless. So, Sinister is a new ability that makes the Pokemon immune to Fairy. Stuff like Pixelate does bypass this, so keep that in mind. Pixelate Mon will hit your Houndoom, and so don't switch it in and be like, what the fuck? I thought I had Sinister. But other than Pixelate moves, Pixelate boosted moves, you are immune to Fairy type moves, of which there are many new ones, and Play Rough TM is very common, so a lot of Pokemon do have access to Fairy moves now. So that's a great ability to have. Fairy is neutral on you, so you're pretty frail. It's nice to be able to switch in for free. So you're immune to Fairy and Psychic, which is awesome. So this is useful. You get really good utility. 4 weaknesses, a bunch of resist, and then 2 immunities to Psychic and Fairy with Sinister. Very good ability. In this hack, you do have access to infinite usability capsules, so you can always just switch between abilities as you need them. Speaking of Houndour early game, it's just a lot stronger and faster, just to keep up with the power creep and stuff, and because it evolves later, because of how strong Houndoom is. Nothing crazy really. It's just a solid Mon, and Unnerve is very useful for early game because all Pokemon have berries throughout the hack, but especially in the early game, there's a lot of berries on Pokemon, so it's nice to be able to just completely shut those off. Again, Sinister is only situational, so you can always just swap it on when you know for a fact you need to switch it on a Fairy type move or fight a Fairy type. So that's really cool. Speaking of, you do have stuff that's super effective against Fairy types. They already learned stuff like Sludge Bomb, so I just gave them physical coverage as well. So they have like Poison Fang, Sludge Bomb, Gong Shot, Shock, that kind of thing. It's nice for fairies. Also Iron Tail and Iron Head. And also Laceration and Cross Poison, which I'll get into. Those are moves for Ruthless. So actually, I'll talk about it now. Ruthless, okay? I also made Houndoom as a base Houndoom a lot faster to keep up with Mega Houndoom, because in this hack, the Megas are not required upgrades over the base form. Obviously, they're better in a lot of ways, but not always. In fact, sometimes you might actually want that pre-mega, especially in this case, because base Houndoom, despite having less physical attack, is actually better physically in a lot of cases because of the moves and because of Ruthless. So Ruthless is a new ability that gives a 50% boost to Houndoom's critical hits. So not only that, but a lot of these moves are actually reworked. So there is a handful of moves that Houndoom learns that always crit, and then there's a handful of moves that Houndoom learns that crit half the time. So Houndoom has access to Stab, Night Slash. It has access to Slash when it evolves at 30, and then it has access to Laceration and Jagged Edge as well, and Cross Poison for coverage. If you're wondering why I give it Cross Poison, if you read the Dex entries for Houndoom, a lot of them talk about how it has toxins. It's flame. The flames it breathes when it's angry contains toxins. There's a couple more. They spew flames mixed with poison to finish off their opponents, etc. So I think that them having a lot of poison moves does fit very nicely. I actually low-key wish I could have made them like. I was considering giving Houndour Merciless, which would be cool with like Smog. But I think Unnerve is a little bit better overall because Merciless is not that great. I mean, you do have Venoshock, but it's not Stab, so it's kind of. I thought that was a cool idea though, so it's fine. Also because then Merciless would turn into Ruthless, and those are both abilities that center around critical hits. But yeah, Houndoom has Stab, Night Slash, 70 base power, and then Laceration, Jagged Edge, and Cross Poison, all of are also 70 base power. And then when you crit, those become 105. But with Ruthless, those become 158 base power. So those are really, really strong. Of course, you do need to run a Sculpt Lens to get that consistent crit rate because those crit half the time. So with the Sculpt Lens adds another crit rate on top, it makes it guaranteed. So that's the way crit rate works in this hack. Or in general, I just made them I made these moves naturally have +2 crit rates instead of +1, so that's how that works. They also have access to moves that always crit. So on top of those 50% crit rate moves for physical sets, of course, your physical attack is 20 points lower than your special attack, but it's still good. You have 100, 120 offenses. So base Houndoom can really take advantage of these physical sets, especially because I did give him access to more physical moves. So his physical coverage is better just by nature. Especially he doesn't have bad coverage or anything, but it's not as good. Darkfire Dual Stab is very good on its own, so you don't really need that much coverage for Houndoom anyways, but especially it only has stuff like Signal Beam, Scorching Sands, Weather Ball, technically, Hidden Power, technically, Natural Gift, technically. Natural Gift becomes any type in the game. It's 110 base power and it's special now. Obviously, that can only be used once though. Sludge Bomb is important coverage, and that's really it. You only have like Signal Beam, Sludge Bomb, Solar Beam, Signal. You know, it's not too great physical special coverage, but it doesn't really need it. And then late game you have like Focus Blast, which is great. But physically you have a lot more coverage. You have like the Fangs, you have Thunder Fang, which is really important. Electric coverage is important. You have Wild Charge, you have Psychic Fangs, you have you know, this Rock, Jagged Edge, Steel, Laceration, you know, Poison. It's good. All right, Bug. It's better. Physical coverage. That's another reason to use physical Houndoom over special Houndoom. Obviously, you're supposed to be using it mixed attacking, unless you have like really shitty nature's IVs, one way or the other. But if you have like, you know, solid nature, solid IVs, then you may as well just run a mixed, because in this hack, not only do you have access to infinite usability capsules, but you also have access to instant EV training. So what you can do is you can just swap your EV spread for each fight. Say this battle, I need to run this move, okay? Or this fight, I want to run this set because their team is weaker to my physical set. Okay, run physical. Next fight, remove the attack EVs, put it in special attack, vice versa. That's really awesome. Also, something I really important I need to mention. So Ruthless, those are 50% crit moves, right? With 100% crit moves on Ruthless, you actually have access to a special move in Heat Wave. Heat Wave with Ruthless is incredibly powerful. It actually outdamages Mega Houndoom, unless you're talking about Dark Aura. Then I believe Mega Houndoom outdamages, no, Mega Houndoom with like Night Days, Dark Aura outdamages base Houndoom. But Houndoom in general with Heat Wave is actually, Heat Wave is stronger on base Houndoom because of Ruthless is my point. Despite gaining 35 special attack when it Mega Evolves, it's still a lot stronger because of Ruthless. So Ruthless, yes, Heat Wave always crits. It's 65 base power, 95% accuracy, but if you take that into account, it's 65 times 2.25, that's what, 140 something? What the heck? Come on. 146, yeah. So that's incredibly powerful. You know, Specs Heat Wave just melts things, absolutely melts things. It's really strong. So that's really cool. I should also probably give them Focus Energy when they evolve, shouldn't I? Just to have, in case you want it. It's not the greatest, but you know, it does make your, like if you run Focus Energy plus Scope Lens on any move, it'll always crit, which is pretty good. So it's not like it's bad or anything. It's worth giving to Ruthless Bonds for sure. Same with Laser Focus. That's a decent option if you need to kill something reliably. All right, let's just put that at 0 and then put Focus Energy and then put 30. Excuse me, guys. Focus Energy. All right, that's good. Back on topic though. Yeah, Heat Wave is incredibly powerful, and then you have a lot of 100% crit physical moves. So with physical moves, you have access to Finishing Blow and First Impression. First Impression is a great TM, really solid coverage. You know, 135 base power with Ruthless, very strong move that always crits. It's nice to just teach it whenever you need it. Obviously, you're not going to need every fight because you're already pretty fast. You don't need the priority, but it's still nice to have. Finishing Blow is incredible actually for physical sets, because Finishing Blow gives you +3 attack when you kill something, and it always crits. So with Ruthless, it becomes 78 base power overall, or 79 base power, excuse me. So it's almost an 80 base power bug type move that gives you +3 attack when you kill stuff. So that's really nice with Finishing Blow. And then lastly, and most importantly, you have access to Wicked Blow at 64, which is pretty early. Again, that's only useful really on base Houndoom. I mean, obviously, if you were running a physical Mega Houndoom because you need the speed boost or something, and you know, 115 attack is still pretty solid, pretty good, very good actually. Just not nearly as good as special attack, and its abilities are more specially oriented. At least Hubris is. Speaking of, yes, Hubris is a new ability, and it comes from it basically works like Special Moxie, but it works like Soul Heart. So if something faints, you get that special attack boost. So in double battles, for example, Mega Houndoom with Hubris is absolutely absurd. But double battles are not the most common in the hack. They are gonna happen, but they're not something I would like teach a move for. And that sounds wrong. They're not the most common. Okay, there's maybe in terms of boss fights, there's maybe like 5 double battle boss fights in the whole game, not counting totems, because of course that's a 1-on-2, so that doesn't count. But yeah, back on topic. Sinister Ruthless are incredible. yes, it's just stronger. I just think that the fast, stronger offenses fit Houndoom more. 120 special attack with all this power creep. I think it fits really nicely. Again, Ruthless Heatwave is incredibly powerful. Ruthless Wicked Blow is incredibly powerful. Obviously, Wicked Blow is only 90% accuracy, so both Heatwave and Wicked Blow have a small chance to miss. But you can always run a wide lens. I would recommend that actually because you are frail. So if you do miss that in a Nuzlocke, you're kind of fucked. So I would definitely recommend running wide lens, unless you're just like living life on the edge and risking your Pokemon's life for no reason. But that's your choice. So that's awesome. And then Mega Houndoom. Okay, Mega Houndoom has. I'll also talk about the nitty gritty of the moves later because yes, you do have really good coverage with the crit moves, but you also have really strong stab. You have stuff like Howl and Power Trip. I'll talk about that now. So you have Howl and Power Trip, which is awesome. Howl actually gives you +2 attack and special attack, so you already get Nasty Plot and Swords Dance by TM, but Howl gives you +4 stats overall. So if you use that in conjunction with Power Trip instantly becomes 80 base power, and in this hack, Power Trip is, most moves are buffed. If you're new here, by the way, please make sure you check out the description if this kind of thing interests you. If you found this interesting, you should totally be checking out the description. You can look at all of the changes yourself. You can see all of the move changes. I have a detailed move guide with all of the move changes on there. All of the new abilities, 28 custom new abilities, tons of awesome stuff, so you can check all out for yourself. But back on topic, Howl and Howl and Power Trip is a great combo. Again, because that becomes 80 base power, and Power Trip now gives you +1 attack. So the second use of Power Trip, you'll be basically Howl +2 attack, 80 base power, Power Trip. Power Trip once, now it's 100 base power and you're +3 attack. Now it's 120 and you're +4. Now it's 140 and you're +5. Obviously, it does max out at +3 because Power Trip is only 3 PP, so you can only get +3 attack from that at most, but that's still incredible and incredibly powerful when used in conjunction with Howl, so that's a great combo right there for physical Houndoom. And then you can always use stuff like the physical moves after that if you want. And yes, Ruthless is very good because it ignores stuff like Intimidate as well, so that's really awesome. You can also still run physical Houndoom with these crit moves and then just ability capsule Sinister on for a specific fight. Say you're running Ruthless. Oh shit, next fight has this fairy type Pokemon or fairy type move that I really need my Houndoom to switch in on because I'm playing on set, which is the recommended thing. And now, oh crap, it's going to deal too much damage to me. Let me just swap on Sinister. Okay, great. Now you have Sinister. Simple as that. So yeah, Mega Houndoom, however, also yeah, there's Z-Roar as well. Z-Roar also gives you +2 attack. Also early game Z Odor Sleuth gives you +2 attack, which is actually really great. Obviously, there's a waste of a move slot otherwise, but it's nice in that case. You also have dual stab priority with Ignite and Paradash and Night Burst on top of Sucker Punch from TM. So you have really good priority there, and then you also have First Impression. So what was I saying? Yeah, Roar gives you +2 attack, and Roar is actually priority now. So Roar is priority, and that's 1 PP +4 priority, so you can actually force something out and set up on something else if you want to do that. And in general, it's great because it just gives you a free +2 attack versus Swords Dance. You might have to take a hit, So Z-Roar is a great option over Howl or Swords Dance if you want that +2 attack boost more reliably. And then you can start Night Slashing and Laceration and then killing stuff with your crit moves. Finishing Blow also goes great with that, as does Power Trip. Again, Power Trip Finishing Blow is also a good combo. It's really good. Like physical Houndoom is great because of the moves I gave it. So, despite having a lower physical attack set, it is a great option for sure. All right, now Mega Houndoom. I did decrease the physical defense a tiny bit. HP is the same as base Houndoom, obviously. I know 90 base defense isn't that weird because he does have these giant bones on him, but stuff like it was kind of weird. So 80 base defense is a lot more reasonable. And then in exchange, he is just a lot stronger. He has 155 special attack and 115 physical attack. And he has 2 great abilities in Dark Aura and Hubris. Hubris, of course, will allow you to snowball out of control. You are 115 base speed. You have Nasty Plot. You can then just start sweeping really easily with stuff like, your great, special stab. So that's really awesome stuff. What else? Oh, is this not looping? No, that's looping there. Hold on, the yawn, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay. However, you might be thinking, oh, Hubris is just better. Is it not? So Dark Aura is incredibly powerful. So Dark Aura gives you a 30% boost to your dark moves. However, that stacks with Stab. So essentially, it's 1.95, which is almost adaptability. So essentially, you basically have adaptability on your dark type moves. Obviously, it's slightly weaker. It's 5% weaker than adaptability with dark moves, and of course, you don't get the fire increase. But the point is, Dark Aura is a very great ability, and also I think all of these abilities really fit Houndoom's vibes. I don't think I need to explain why I chose them logically. I think they all are perfectly fitting for him. Dark Aura is extremely powerful. So again, you're going to be choosing between that immediate ridiculous power or the overtime strong power. 155 base, oh my god, excuse me, 155 base special attack with Dark Aura is really strong. It's just great. You have really powerful Dark Stab as well on the special side because I did add, for example, the types that had shitty coverage for specific, physical ice, physical fairy, special dark, etc. The moves that were very limited in terms of the options they have. I did add a bunch more. So, you have stuff like Dismal Cry, which is 60 base power, -1, I believe, special attack, which is just Snarl, but better. And I renamed it mostly because I wanted more Pokemon to be able to get it. Like all the special dark types need it, so. Yeah, versus Snarl doesn't make fucking sense on like half the special dark types. It feels weird. Anyways, yeah, so you have Doom Desire. So of course you have Dark Pulse via TM. Dark Pulse is 85 base power, very strong with Dark Aura. Also just a good stab move in general. Also for physical sets, you have Raging Fury, which is essentially Fire type power up punch. However, it also doubles in power if you move to last. So that's a great option for sure. It becomes 100 base power and it still gives you that +1 attack boost. So that's great. Yeah, Doom Desire. So you have Dark Pulse, and then of course you learn Doom Desire 41. Doom Desire is Dark type, 160 base power, so that can be incredibly powerful. If you just use that, and I low-key considered making them crit moves for Ruthless, or at least maybe not Future Sight. Future Sight feels kind of weird, but I think Doom Desire being a crit move would be really cool with Ruthless. I could just make it 110 base power, 110 times 1.5. What is that? I'm too lazy to do it in my head. 165, so that's slightly stronger than Future Sight is, which is 160. I can live with that, but I'll probably leave it. I'll leave it as it is for now. It's a great move regardless. That's incredible just to have in general. That's incredible for trainers to use against you because I guarantee you people are going to forget about that Dark Aura Doom Desire. They're going to forget about it. Dark Aura Doom Desire, say they click it, you kill the Mega Houndoom in one hit after that, and then now 2 turns later, you have to fucking switch into something that take that Doom Desire. Say the trainer has a Pokemon that actually counters Pokemon that resist Dark. For example, fairies and fightings. Say I have, a Pokemon that is really strong against those types come out next. Now it's like, oh shit, I need to switch into that Pokemon to take this Doom Desire, or I need to protect. And of course, if you need to protect, that means you've been planning ahead, and you're also wasting up a move slot on protect. So the point is that it's really fun to play around that for the AI, but obviously it's also a great move for the trainer. Not to mention it makes an extremely powerful Z move. I believe I made it 230 or something. Let me check. 220, yeah. So that's extremely powerful as a Z move. Honestly, could make him 230, but it's fine. 220 is already extremely powerful, especially for that point in the game. At level 41, a 220 base power Dark Aura boosted Z move. Yeah. Sorry, you can't use Dark Aura. Excuse me, but you can use it on base Houndoom as a really strong Z move. Then you get Searing Shot and Night Days, which are just like stronger versions of Dark Pulse and Flamethrower, but slightly inaccurate. Those are both 100 base power, 95% accuracy with good additional effects. So that's cool. Obviously, Ruthless Heat Wave is better, but you can always reteach Heat Wave. It's a tutor, so you can always reteach that whenever you want it. Say you're running Sinister for one fight and you actually want Searing Shot because it's slightly stronger than Heat Wave, go for it. You can always just teach Heat Wave again, Or you want Flamethrower for that accuracy, which is what I would actually recommend, especially because you're frail. Yeah. You also have like a lot of good utility stuff here. Like there's so much awesome stuff. You have like Parting Shot, you have T-Spikes, you have T-Spikes again because of those toxic entries. Talking about that. D-Bond is good for non-love locks if you want to do that. It's just different flavor because it had it before. Then you have incredibly powerful stab moves late game. So especially with Dark, you have access to Twilight Cannon. So not only do you have Night Days, which is 100 base power over Dark Pulse, albeit it's 5% inaccurate. Twilight Cannon and Blast Burn are both moves that drop your attacking stats by 2. So Twilight Cannon comes from Photon Geyser, which means that it actually uses your highest attacking stat. So Twilight Cannon can be used with both physical or special sets, which is great. So like, for example, Night Slash with Twilight Cannon is a great combo if you're running a physical set because you'll be getting physical Twilight Cannon for 150 base power, and then you'll be getting that crit Night Slash, which bypasses that physical attack drop. Same goes for Blast Burn and Heat Wave. Blast Burn and Heat Wave is an incredible combo on Ruthless Houndoom. You click Blast Burn, you get that 150 base power move, you get -2 special attack, then you can just start spamming Heat Wave right after, and now you're getting that crit on Heat Wave guaranteed. That's really, really strong stuff, man. It's really powerful. Obviously, it is a late game on those two moves for balancing reasons, of course. It does have access to Flare Blitz and Blazing Assault, which are 125 and 150 base power respectively. Blazing Assault is just Flare Blitz without the chance to burn, but it adds the close combat effect, so it drops your defenses by 1 for 25 base power. So that's a pretty great move as well. Great for physical sets, so that's cool. You can also always run focus energy on this stuff. Like you can totally run focus energy, scope lens if you can get that off safely without dying, and then you could just kill everything if you want with like any set, physical or special. Of course, that is easier said than done though. Yeah, a 50% boost is huge from Ruthless, and then that 30% boost from Dark Aura is also huge. Then yeah, Sinister for you, amazing utility, and then Hubris is incredible as well. Burn Up, Inferno, both always burn. Obviously, Inferno is 70% accurate, 130 base power. Burn Up is 100% accurate, 140 base power, but you can only use that once until you have to switch out. I would prefer using Burn Up personally because it's more accurate, especially on a frail mon like this. Unless you're running Wide Lens, then go for, actually Wide Lens isn't even that great with Inferno. Wide Lens is a 15% boost now, so that would make Inferno, what, 80, 81? 70 times 15, 1.15, 81, yeah. So, not the greatest, but it's solid. Stuff like Wide Lens, Fire Vortex is better, though. Fire Vortex is 130 base power, traps the opponent like Magma Storm, and it deals a lot of residual damage, so that's incredibly strong. Obviously, it is inaccurate as hell, so you're gonna run wanna run Wide Lens. Excuse me. God, I twist up my tongue in half these videos, man. Yeah, just really great stuff overall. I mean, it's such a fun mon to use, super strong, super fitting changes here. Overheat is recoil, so that's great. That's just a special recoil move, 125 base power, same as Flare Blitz, just special, obviously, which is why it's later. Just a really spammable move. Yeah, good utility. And you got Will-O-Wisp, Parting Shot, all those great stuff. Ruthless is incredible. It's just a really strong mon. You have good utility early game like Leer, Confide, Scary Face. Confide is -1 to both their special stats. Leer is -2 defense. Scary Face is -2 speed, -1 attack. Growl is even good. Growl is -1 attack and speed, which is solid. Also, Scary Face does inflict Nightmare, but you don't have any sleep inflicting moves, so it's not that important. So does Dark Pulse and Night Daze, by the way. Those moves also inflict the target with a Nightmare if they're asleep, but sleep only lasts about 2 turns for most moves unless it's like Yawn or Knockout Punch or something. So it's not that great, which is why I did it. I thought it was a cool little buff because the move is pretty useless. So I think the effect is cool to give to some moves. Yeah, that's really about it. All right, I think I covered everything pretty thoroughly. You know, I gave it physical moves earlier, so you have a lot better physical coverage. You have Play Rough, Wild Charge, Takedown, Mega Horn, First Impression, Lunge, just much better physical coverage overall. The only thing that you don't have specially that you do have, that you don't have physically that you do have specially is Psychic with Psychic. Sorry, Scorching Sands for ground type coverage, but you do have like Psychic Fang, Thunder Fang, Wild Charge, Play Rough, Takedown all physically. Focus Flash is late game, so that doesn't really count for fighting type coverage. So yeah, for special sets, but yeah, it's good. Okay. I think I covered about everything. Yeah, he learns physical moves earlier. You know, Fire Lash, for example, is at level 35. That's 85 base power, -1 defense. That's great for physical sets with Ruthless or Sinister, of course. Yeah, I think I covered about everything. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it informative or interesting, please make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. That'd be really helpful for me if you could subscribe. Also, dropping a comment down below, leaving a like on the video. That kind of stuff does help a lot with the algorithm. So if you enjoyed it, please feel free to do that. Also, again, you can check out all these changes for yourself in the description below. I'm almost done with Johto, and then I'm finished with Kanto. I'm just uploading videos to catch up with that stuff. So that's really awesome. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be back for more. Bye.